And one thing, we're live. Here we are. It is Autograders. There's stuff to do with the graders. I'm hoping that Mr. Johns, or Bill Auger, as he's also known, will be joining us shortly. I'm going to start without him in the meantime, just to get into it, because there's not so much time before the afternoon stand-up. Let's get some screen share going on. So here we have, this is the, what should we call it? It's the private CI repo for the current Toba Pot Legacy Part 2 or refactoring. No, actually, wait a sec. Sorry. This is the original CI for repo for the two parts converged. And this has CI set up, and I was, oh, God, it's a complicated bit of chunky stuff going on. The legacy homework, 2 parts. We've got here, that's the bug fix. There's the new feature. Right, I've split it into 2 parts. Yes, so basically this was the previous one that we had, where it was in 1 part. Oh, no, they were both all in 1 repo, which I've split out. What happens next? Oh, God, brain. More coffee or less coffee or something. Anyway, the problem is that the build for this is failing. I mean, the tests fail locally as well. Let me get to the local version of the tests. Let's go for it here. We've got, there it is. Right, that's the tests failing locally. We're not finding that branch, and so let's have a look at what branches there are. Sourcebook rag. Yes, Mr. Johns was making the sensible point that we could just have it go on a different branch. Let's have a look at the branches. That's not what I wanted to be on, the waffle. Not that isn't relevant at some point in the future. Sourcebook rag. Here we go. And branches. So, and what view more stale branches? Yum, stale branches. We've got lots of branches. Now, is that a branch that Mr. Zhang had on his version? Zhang Aaron. Is that his name? Yes. Now, he has a few branches. Oh, it certainly has more branches. Anyway, what's the Autograder refactor temp? Okay, so it's trying to check out. Mr. John's trying to get in. Autograder engine refactor remote branch. Not seeing that open next. Good grief, how many? Okay, so he's got. Okay, so okay, so we've got a. Okay, so that's okay. So we've got. Aaron, I see that you have an old branch on your repo called Bill. You're right. We could just try with master and see if that works. So that would involve. What would it involve? It would involve finding the relevant code and finding that point in it which is related to scenario, install or check the grid. So I've got an install feature here, engine refactor. So if we just, let's make that master. Install check Z. Let's just change that to master throughout, and then see if we can even do an install. Oh, that's gone green. No, more green than we had before. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. I'll put that in here as well. For some reason, Mr. Johns is having trouble getting in. And I install the Autograder gems. Okay. And I guess I should be trying to work out what this is doing step by. So we've got, in order to check that the supply type can be graded by the way, as an Autograder deployer, I need to check the installation. Install or check skeleton. Given that I'm in the project directory for the right, when I clone the master branch of the public skeleton, okay, that one, I should see there are no errors. Given that I'm in the project root directory of that one, install okay. Okay. Yes, Mr. John's having problems with Linux. Yeah, Linux Hangouts. Blech. Okay, so we're installing a lot of Autograded gems. Okay, so I mean, in principle, I mean, even if this is even. That's taking a long time. I guess in the meantime, do I want to have this kind of install set up? I need to understand this better. Then I should see there are no errors. I should see there are no errors. Errors. Okay, so we've got expect test status. No errors. Install feature. When I clone master branch of public skeleton, I guess that's when I clone master branch. Why would that? And we've got run. Okay, so we're running those processes, right? And so we get. Okay, fair enough. Test errors being checked there. Yeah, okay. So that has worked up to there. We have a new error. We have a new error, which is that I should see no difference. When I go to the Autograder directory rag and it has an origin of subscriber, when I fetch the latest on origin branch master, there should be no difference. Given I go to the Autograder, have we now created here? We have cd rag. It is in master. Git status. Right, the rotten potatoes test log has changed. I would say that that should be in git ignore, should it not? Let's go into cd rag, git checkout master, git pull origin master, nano dot git ignore. It's okay. We've got rotten potatoes in it. Control X. Rotten potatoes. Git status. Remove minus cached. No, I don't need it to be. Rotten potatoes log test.log. Local modifications. I want to force removal of that. git status, git commit am removes test log that should not have been present. Push origin master. Just get that in there. I should be doing pull requests. I guess that's a better history to go through. All right, bad developer. Okay. So now if we go in here, we do that bundle and cucumber install feature. Oh no, I've spelled it wrong. I'll go on. Now hopefully, does it have to install all of the autograder trims again every time? Good grief. That's going to be very slow, isn't it? In order to find out. Are these things in the... It feels like these are order dependent because it assumes this one slow and dull. Interesting. And if we go into RAD now, that's going to fail again. And this is just the installation setup. What is this one? See, it runs Cucumber for the autograder. How is the install different from this one? What was I? And I run Cucumber for the autograder. Okay, so it's just checking that the autograder runs. Let's see. So, of course, this is all just trying to figure out the build setup for the old version of the refactoring legacy code assignment. And the bigger picture here, which I probably should have started with, is that we want to figure out this strange bug for the part 2 of the legacy code system. And so one, we want to be able to replicate it, I think, outside of, okay, so here, right, and then well, just finish that sentence. It's to replicate it outside of the big edX grader system where there's many other moving parts, if we can replicate it outside of it. And, you know, we want a sort of CI setup for that. I don't know if we're yak shaving here. So we've got that. Can we just remove -rf rag there and then start again with this, bring this down. What? No. Okay, try again. Okay, so hopefully that will be now installing. All right, so it actually, so one, it's checking the entire autograder thing works on this one, which is a bit excessive if you ask me. Good grief. And we may not even use the entire of this legacy setup. Show. So we've got that thing having it again there. The question I'm going to be asking myself is, get out of here. And so we've got now legacy code, new feature, CI. So this is the situation here. We have the autograder. We have no tests of any kind at that location. So this is where, and do I have that loaded up? Well, I think I have I can't find the other Sublime instance. Where is the other Sublime instance? I don't know. Oh, is it hidden? Window. Bring all to front. It's hidden over here. That's what happened when I changed monitors. Right, I've got just everything here, haven't I? This rag. Okay, so legacy code, new feature CI. We've got that. That is now the single spec. We've got a trivial README. So we contrast that with the legacy code thing here, which has lots of bits and pieces. I'll just go back over here. And this now passes. That is the development. And so what we, I guess, should also be doing now is running the normal cucumber tests, which have a feature to see if any of they work, and they don't. Okay. Because we do not have such file directory grade Heroku. And I wonder if Aaron used to have that. Does he have that in there? He does not. Okay. 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 Thinking it would be great if we had all the live pairing sessions around the homepage. A lot of people probably hate it. I'm a serial exhibitionist. What am I like? Okay. Yes, I'm partly because Mr. Johns had mentioned live coding TV, live coding TV. Which kind of is that, I guess? Hey, Bill, how's it going? All right there? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
You're a little bit faint. I will try and boost your audio.
Okay, well, I was nowhere near the microphone at the moment. I wasn't sure it was going to work. I was looking for the chat. The chat is missing here.
The chat?
Yeah, the Google Hangout chat. One of these buttons. All right, here we go.
You'll find it. There's a bit of an echo. Have you got some headphones on?
No, I'm probably just my broadcaster. Hang
on. So I kind of started, like 20 minutes ago, and I've been recording and like narrating through the stuff that I've been doing. So you can watch that back at some point if we don't end up repeating it now. I'm just looking at live coding TV. That looks cool.
Yeah, I didn't start yet. If I would have had to go to Windows, I would not have been able to broadcast, but I can start it now.
Yeah. So I just mentioned that I've got kind of 20 minutes, well, not even 15 minutes before I've got kind of a stand-up. And then after the stand-up, we could do some more on this potentially. But so this is, I guess, going to be just sort of like warm-up. So to summarize where we are is that the basic issue is we have a kind of this nasty timeout problem with our part 2 of the legacy homework, which is where's it gone? Yeah, we've got this repo here is the one we basically at the moment is what the grader is using. This code right here is the specs that the grader is running. It's the new version of the grader reaches out to a repo, in this case this one, and pulls in the specs that it needs in order to grade a particular assignment. So I had, in order to try and clearly separate the two parts of the assignment and reduce the amount of output that the grader gives to the students, I had taken, this was the existing, like both parts of the legacy assignment setup, and I split that into two. I mean, specifically just into these two repos, into which I threw only the you know, the spec for grading them. Yeah. So now they obviously they grade the correct thing correctly, but as we've noticed, I mean, in some cases when you haven't completed the assignment, it just gets stuck. And we've both observed that. And kind of my plan of attack is can we get set up so that we can replicate that bug outside of the system, so that we can kind of get a handle on it. And to that end, I'm just trying to get tests set up on the current, like this is the version that's being used. So I've been looking at the build setup here, and as you rightly pointed, well, so we've got this issue over here. And as you pointed out, like, I mean, I was just sort of like triaging it and discovering that, okay, it's looking for this branch. That branch actually does exist on Aaron. So Aaron is the guy who, you know, sort of upgraded to the new grader and sort of moved things around. And he's got that branch, but I think the branch is not relevant. I've done exactly as you suggested, which is I put it onto master. And now the install process, because the thing actually works. So I thought I just ran that there and it was green. Yes. So this, you know, there was the master. There was then some other changes that I needed to make in the main grader and so on. But I've got these tests. This is like, there's two parts to go into the thing here. There's an install step. There's this install feature that you need to run first that checks out the entire, what does it do? Basically, yeah, it checks out two other repos. It goes and grabs the kind of base code, as it were, for the assignment, although that's a bit redundant in this case because the base code there isn't any base code. And then it checks out the entire grader and makes sure that the grader runs. And then it just makes sure that the grader has not had any side effects. So this install basically installs the entire grader architecture locally for you.
All right. That base version of the code is probably sufficient to expose the bug.
We will see, yes. But so then
the version that I did, it passes the first part of the homework, the new and edit, the new and edit categories, and that is literally one line of code of a change of a diff in my version. So I would suspect that the base code is more than sufficient to expose the bug.
Well, I mean, I think the base code will maybe yes, maybe no, because
I've been trying to narrow it down to exactly which part of the feature.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
that proved to be difficult. I had
but have you been running the specs locally to on your machine?
No.
I mean, what's not clear to me at the moment, and maybe you've already narrowed it down. It's not clear to me whether the bug is related to something to do with the way in which, you know, the edX is talking to the grader and that whole loop, or if it's something that's specific to the way in which the assignment, you know, currently grades things. I mean, I think what it would be nice to do would be nice to like actually get this thing. So, like I was just going through, this is the install thing that pulls out it pulls out the grader infrastructure, but it doesn't. What it doesn't pull out is it doesn't pull out the whole edX queues and all of that malarkey. So even though this is pulling out the grader like project, it's not pulling out, you know, the edX other components. So there are other fancy things going on. But so this is pulling it out. That's the first step. Then we have this second step, which is actually now running the test. And so we can see here as a background, given the homework is in place, and it checks that we've got the different things. Again, this is actually redundant in this case because the homework refactoring legacy code repo without the -ci doesn't actually have anything in it. But so here it's going like run the Heroku solution. So this is like run the autograder with Heroku grader strategy. You know, so it's basically trying to do, this is running part 1 of the assignment. And so, but the thing is, so now I run this and I get these failures, which is that this.
I cannot read that at all.
No. Let me make that larger for you.
A little bit. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So this runs into the problem that this file does not exist, which is grade Heroku, which basically the grader used to have, and if we go and look at the grader, so the grader I've got here in the rag directory, the grader used to have on the root, it used to have a series of scripts that allowed you to run the individual assignments from the command line. And in the process of reviewing and restructuring everything, Aaron and other Berkeley TAs have thrown those out. I mean, not unreasonably maybe.
The magic of Git is they're still there. You can
Yeah,
rewind and pull them back.
absolutely. Well, clearly, yes. I mean, I've got access. What we don't know, of course, is whether they will work with the way. We don't know if they'll still work. We can certainly go and try and find them. But so yeah, if we go to, we've got a waffle here where I've been pulling in. Have you got? Can you see?
I'm wondering what those errors are. Is there something special there?
What errors? Well, here.
Well, what are you? These errors are coming when you download the base code and you try to feed it directly into the grader.
No. This is like.
I'm wondering what happens in that case.
Well. So basically, we've installed the like what we end up with in this repo here. If we just have a little look here, this is the for the legacy code. It's basically installed a rag directory there that's got the whole thing in here. Now these failures are just like it's related to this process of trying to run these example scenarios. So here, like it's trying to run this Heroku solution part 1, and it's going through these steps here. And if we have a look at this, we've got, when I run Autograder with Heroku grader strategy, so that's a step in here. If we look for Heroku in here, yeah, so you can see here that it's trying to run the Autograder particular strategy. You can see here that basically it's just trying to run, one of these different, it's expecting to find one of these files with which to run these things, and these files don't exist at the moment because they've been removed. And we can maybe one path of attack here is to just go and get them and see if they work with the.
Is this a problem because something has changed since the previous iterations? And
well, the simple thing that's changed. The simple thing that's changed is just that those files have been removed, and maybe we can put them back in. I was just gonna like this. See if you have access to. I'm just going to put this in. You may not have Slack now, but I'm just going to put it in the Autograders thing. This is waffle for graders. I'm perhaps getting off topic here, but I've got another command in there. I've got a ticket here, which is that saying, we need to be able. I mean, basically, we just need this function. We need to be able to run it from the command line, and whether we can get these legacy ones to work or whether we need to write new ones, that's another story. But yes, if we go and have a look at, for example, if we go back to SaaSbook rag, at the moment where it's set up to, it does not have those files to allow running from the command line, even whether that's a good design. But we can go back and we can look at the commits for, if we go back to before the TAs started work on it earlier this summer. If we get back to like June, I've got to sit up straight. I've got to be the osteopath. I've got these problems with my shoulders. I must remember to sit up straight. Yeah, great that you've got this new computer, Bill. So that's all. It's all working smoothly, eh?
Yeah, it handles this quite well.
Excellent. That's wonderful. Yeah. So if we go back to, this was the last time that I was working on it before the those particular set of TAs got involved, and we look at there, we should see here we've got these files. So for example, like grade Heroku here is this file.
Is this something that is normally needed for the normal operation?
No. So this is well, yeah. I think it's
sounded like to me is that your big hang up is on the tests that have to do with building and operating the grader itself. but not necessarily the test for grading a homework, because the grader is working if it passes.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. But the only reason I want this kind of setup is so that I can maybe, like, if I can run this CI and it runs fine, then that tells me that, and then it doesn't block and it doesn't hang. Then that allows us to isolate the fact that the problem is not in this; it's in, you know, somewhere else. I mean, these things, they may have been involved.
What it is that some route, or there's something to do with something that needs to be implemented on the fully working version, and it's just like calling to a resource that doesn't exist on the base version. I really suspect that it's in the implementation of the homework. It's something the grader is looking for that is not implemented.
Yeah, okay, right. That might be the case. And so, but what I want to, at the moment, we can only expose that through the kind of this tortuous route of actually submitting the thing through edX and whatever. So I want to get set up with something where we can, you know, get a tighter feedback loop. I mean, so the interesting question here, we could just sort of slap, we could just because it's simple, relatively simple to do, we could slap this file into, if I can go and find it, the rag directory here. If I just create a new file here and slap in this and call it, what was it supposed to be called? Supposed to be called, and call it grade Heroku. It may just like not work at all, but it says start. So if I put that in there, potentially we can come in here and I can just run this, and we can see now what happened here. No such file directory, grade Heroku, ls rag. Oh, we're not saved it in the right place. Let's look. Is it called grade Heroku.rb? I don't want it to be called RB. Rename. Put grade Heroku. Okay, let's try that again. Permission denied. Okay. So that sounds like somebody speaking French in the background there.
But can't you? Is there any way that you can just watch the terminal output of the machine itself while it's grading?
Yes, I've done that, and it's not. I mean, I've got, so for example, that's here. See this here?
There's got to be some error or something that, you know, is
well,
visible.
like when I've worked through here, like this was me, one of my ones, right? It comes through here, right? It does this, yeah. It gets down to here, so that looks.
It looks like a fully complete.
Yeah, it looks like it, and so I would be expecting this to be sent back to edX and that to be shown to the student. However, at this point, it hangs for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Then it prints out this, and that's what the student sees, and only that. So I'm not.
That leads me to wonder about those external machines. Did you notice in my last comment there that hang occurs only before 2 external machines make a request?
Indeed.
And that does not occur on the complete homework. Whatever those machines are, do not bother.
Yeah. Indeed.
I suspect that this grader is waiting for a response from whatever these other machines are, and it's not getting the response.
Yes, that is indeed very. And yes, it would be nice to work out all of those things. I'm just trying to sort of hear. Okay. So, I mean, I've just sort of tried throwing this in there. No, I mean, absolutely. I mean, that's all. And I really appreciate you taking the time to add that information. I'm not sure at the moment, like what's the next step down that debugging path. I feel like my angle of attack is, can I grade this? What I want to do is have kind of like a broken version that we see hanging on the main system, and be grading it from my local machine to see if I can replicate that. And see if I can replicate that in the absence of the whole edX queue loop. And that tells me, right, okay, I don't have to worry about the edX queue loop. I can focus on here. And, you know, if it's on my own machine, I can get into it in more detail.
I would assume, like I think what I would try to do is to run a Rails server on the homework on the same exact machine that the grader is running.
Exactly. But so this attempt here to use this grade Heroku has not been entirely successful. I mean, I can kind of see I can see like here, this is the way in which we might actually grade from the command line, like so. If I go into the rag there, and then it's supposed to be hitting like the URI. I'm going to have to go and jump into a. It sort of, was it doing it here before? It was kind of, it's like there, and then this is that's part 2. That's like, so that in principle, if we just do control kill there and stick that in there. So, and then where have we got, trying to go into, yeah, okay, no, but so here, will it work like this? Recount touch load lib autograder. So, where's that even? Grade Heroku 6. I mean, basically the Heroku, I mean, this is the old grade Heroku there. It's trying to go into lib and get the autograder.rb. I think I have to get into the rag directory to do this. Do that, Control A, ddbd, Control E. So it's got to step back 2 layers to get to the there. Permission URL spec file. The URI, and we've got this. Okay, yeah. So I mean, now at least here, what we've established is the old mechanism of just running the grader from the command line like this does not work anymore. It's not. You can see there it's saying like uninitialized constant autograder, which it should be expecting to be coming in from this lib autograder. You know that they've changed the namespace, so I can start mucking around with that, and it looks like they've namespaced it. So we've got graders there. You know, and it could be that would just work. Or yeah, suddenly there's wrong number of arguments. So basically, the whole public interface for the grader has kind of changed, and you know, in order to run it from the command line, so to speak, I'm going to have to like learn what that new interface is. Anyway, I need to do a stand up now, which you're more than welcome to attend, and then depending on how that, I'll come back to this, you know, in about 20 minutes. So maybe see you in a bit.
Yeah, okay. I'm having a problem with my broadcast too. I'll try to get that running in the meantime.
Okay, no worries. I mean, we're streaming on YouTube with this one anyway, by the way. But I don't know if that. Yeah, can we not just link our existing stream into livecoding.tv? Does it not work like that?
You can't bounce it, but I have a screen capture, and you know,
yeah, I mean, I just like I'll do it in Slack. But we're currently, as a result of running the recording Hangout here, we're streaming all of this. I mean, there's like it's being recorded to YouTube over a live stream, right? You know that, yeah?
Yeah.
So I mean, like, I've sent you the link for it.
They do have services like that, like a bouncer, RTMP bouncer, but I don't know how.
I mean, does live coding use some like specialized software that you have to run in order to stream stuff to it?
Just a regular, you know, like Adobe's Flash encoder.
Oh, okay.
OBS.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. All right. Anyway, I'll catch up with you in a bit. I got to go and do this stand up.
Sure.